Picture this. You're standing 12 yards from a goal. 60,000 people are screaming your name. One kick decides whether your country's dream stays alive. Your heart is slamming against your ribs. But the real answer to why some people thrive in that moment and others collapse is far stranger than talent or luck. It's not about skill. It's not about experience either. It's about what happens inside your skull in the 4 seconds before you strike the ball. On a Thursday night in Toronto, Cristiano Ronaldo walked to the penalty spot with his country trailing and his final World Cup hanging by a thread. He stared at the goalkeeper. He didn't rush. He stopped his run mid-stride, watched the keeper commit, then rolled the ball the other way. Stadium silent 1 second. Stadium screaming the next. You felt a smaller version of that moment. A job interview, first date, a speech in front of strangers. Your palms sweat. Your mouth goes dry. Your mind, the very thing that's supposed to save you, feels like it's working against you. So what is actually happening? Your brain has two competing systems fighting for control right now, and understanding them changes everything about how you handle pressure. The first is your amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure buried deep in your brain. It's ancient. It doesn't care about penalty kicks or job interviews. It cares about survival. When it detects a threat, real or perceived, it floods your body with adrenaline and cortisol. Your heart rate spikes. Your muscles tense. Your vision narrows. The second is your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, precision, and fine motor control. It's the part that knows exactly how to strike a ball into the top corner. It's the part that remembers, without you even thinking about it, thousands of hours of practice. Here's the problem. When the amygdala takes over, it steals resources from the prefrontal cortex. Blood flow shifts. Attention narrows to the threat. Fine motor skills, the very thing you need to place a ball precisely past a goalkeeper, start to degrade. Psychologist Sion Beilock has spent her career studying exactly this collision. She calls it choking under pressure, and her research shows something counterintuitive. The more skilled you are, the more automatic a movement should be, the more vulnerable you become to overthinking it when pressure spikes. Beilock's experiments with golfers found that when players were told to consciously monitor their swing under pressure, their performance dropped, even though they were more experienced than novices in the same study. Sit with that for a second. Expertise doesn't protect you from pressure. In some ways, it makes you a bigger target for it. So why didn't Ronaldo fall apart? This is where the story gets stranger. Elite performers under pressure don't have calmer brains. Their amygdala still fires. Their cortisol still spikes. What separates them isn't the absence of the threat response. It's what they do in the 4 or 5 seconds after it begins. Researcher Geir Jordet has spent 2 decades studying penalty kicks specifically, analyzing thousands of them from international tournaments. Jordet found that the players who succeed under the highest pressure share a specific behavioral pattern before they even touch the ball. They take longer to start their run-up. They look at the goalkeeper less, not more. And most tellingly, they're far more likely to celebrate immediately after scoring, which Jordet links to a psychological state of full commitment rather than hesitation. Hesitation is the tell. Jordet's data shows that players who rush their run-up, who seem eager to get the moment over with, miss far more often than those who slow everything down. Ronaldo stopping mid-run wasn't showmanship. It wasn't arrogance either, even though it looked like both. It was a documented technique. By pausing, he forced the goalkeeper to commit to a direction first, buying his own prefrontal cortex the extra half second it needed to execute the shot with precision instead of panic. You do a version of this more often than you realize. Ever notice how the calmest person in a crisis is rarely the one who reacts fastest? They're the one who pauses just long enough to let the noise settle before they move. There's a third piece to this puzzle, and it comes from a completely different field. Neuroscientist and former Navy SEAL researcher Andrew Huberman, along with a body of work in stress physiology going back decades, points to something called reappraisal. It's a technique where you don't try to suppress the fear response. You relabel it. The racing heart before a penalty and the racing heart before a roller coaster are physiologically identical. Same adrenaline, same cortisol, same tightening in your chest. The only difference is the story you tell yourself about it. Athletes trained in reappraisal don't tell themselves to calm down. They tell themselves they're excited. And that single reframe changes how the prefrontal cortex processes the situation, keeping it online instead of getting hijacked by the amygdala. This is why you'll hear elite athletes say things that sound almost delusional in the moment. I love this. I've been waiting for this. Give me the ball. They're not lying. They're rewiring the threat into fuel in real time on purpose. Here's what should unsettle you a little. None of this is really about football. The interview you're dreading, the conversation you've been avoiding, the moment you have to stand up and say the hard thing out loud. Your body is going to respond exactly the way Ronaldo's did on that penalty spot. Heart rate up, palms sweating, vision narrowing to the one thing in front of you. The difference between falling apart and stepping up was never about being fearless. Nobody in that stadium believed Ronaldo felt nothing walking to that spot. What separated him wasn't the absence of pressure. It was a set of learned, almost invisible behaviors, a pause, a breath, a reframed story that gave his skill room to actually show up. And here's the twist that makes this even stranger. Jordet's research found that penalty success rates across international tournaments have nothing to do with which country supposedly produces braver or calmer players. They correlate almost perfectly with how much a team specifically practices penalties under simulated pressure, crowd noise, and all in training. Composure isn't a personality trait. It's a rehearsed skill, which means the next time your hands shake before something that matters, you're not broken. You're not weak. You're not missing some gene that calm people have and you don't. You're running the same ancient survival circuitry that fires in every human brain, the same one that fired in a stadium in Toronto in front of 60,000 screaming fans. The only real question is what you do in the 4 seconds after it starts. Do you rush the run-up? Or do you pause, take the breath, tell yourself you're excited instead of afraid, and let the part of your brain that actually knows what to do finally get a turn? Picture that moment again. 12 yards from the goal, 60,000 voices, a heart slamming against ribs that isn't so different from yours. Now picture it as something else entirely, not a threat closing in, but 4 seconds of space, waiting for you to decide who walks into it.